there are artists and actors and writers out there, and it's like, is to give into your impulses a lot of the time. And I find the more I do that, the more I get off kilter from the norm. And it's, you know, sometimes you make a mistake and you may have to apologize. But, you know, chances are if you lead a pretty clean life, then the mistakes you made will be minor.
I've heard it said that the difference between a great performer and a somewhat lesser performer is that the great performers are not afraid to be foolish.
Yeah, I agree with that, and you have to take risk. Here's that quote. I wish I could ascribe it to the right person, but it's, you're only as good as you dare to be bad. And I've always remembered that. I've always been able to take chances, and I think it's inherent in performers that they have to have that prerequisite of being risk takers. You have to be willing to take those chances. And it's not just physical, but it's often emotional. Actors put themselves in emotional jeopardy, often. Because when you go through a process like that, and the actors will concur with this, your body doesn't know the difference between acting and real life. If I am putting myself in a position where I'm weeping or heaving with upset, you know, or anger or fear or whatever the case is, your body doesn't know that I'm just acting. It's okay. You put yourself through it, and it takes a while to come down from that. So it can be exhausting. It's also exhilarating.
With many great actors, there is you can see you know, two extremes. There's the exhibitionism on one hand, but then there's a snap back into oftentimes introversion and a kind of hiding, especially when, you know, celebrities. When with you, I don't see that schism in this quite.
Oh, I got a lot of schism.
You know, I don't see you sort of snapping back into introversion. I see you have a very well-developed persona and ego, and you seem to have figured out this sort of public persona part of what you do.
You know, we were talking backstage a little bit, and we were talking about some real parties that we are invited to from time to time, and I confess that I'm really not good at that. I'm not comfortable at that. I don't want to stand around holding a drink and have to yell to. So I've never been good at that. So I've always avoided that whenever possible, and that it just doesn't seem conducive to being able to really make a connection with anybody when you're constantly going, "I'm sorry, what? Yes." You know, what about you? You know, I just didn't, I never liked that. So I try to stay away from that. As I grow older now, I also have to manage my level of energy. It's just, I could feel it waning a little bit, so that I have to make sure that I've got the energy to do the things that I want to do. I have a very high metabolism anyway.
Yes, I think we noticed that.
And but I want to be able to do well. So whether I'm doing a play or enduring, you know, 15, 16 hours on a set where, and I'm not, you know, sour grapes or anything, but it can be tiring. And so, and when you're called to do it, you've got to punch it in the face. And that's what I try to do.
Has your motor always run a little bit fast?
Yes. Yeah. I think it's probably my ADHD, nervous energy. I was never diagnosed with that, but looking back, I think that's what it is. I do. I would get notes on my report cards that Bryan needs to pay more attention. Bryan should stop daydreaming. Because back when I was a kid, there wasn't any diagnosis of that kind. So it's like, ooh, I'm doing something wrong.
It really sucked back then. The doctors kept all the amphetamines for themselves.
I know!
Now, fortunately, they learned how to share the wealth with little kids, and
that's right.
Very different kinds
Dose them up. That's what I say.
Right. So you have a peculiar. I mean, you seem extremely articulate about your process in a way that some performers I've met are either they're disinclined or they're unable. But you also also didn't really take to schooling. I mean, you didn't particularly like, grade school and high school.
I liked grade school a lot, and I look back on it, and that was out of all my schooling, that was the most popular I'd ever been. Was in grade school. It went down from there. No, it was actually it was fun and it was engaging. And I look back and I realized, well, my parents had this nasty split when I was 11. And I go, oh, that's probably why I went into a little bit of a cave, because all of a sudden a rug was pulled out from under you, and what you thought was the construct of your family wasn't. I didn't see my dad for 11 years. My mom started drinking and was emotionally gone. So here I am at 12 years old now, and I have an older brother, 2.5 years older, and he and I were like, should we, we're trial and error. We're basically left alone to kind of go to school, and there was no governing of our studies or advice to give about what to do or higher education or anything like that. And consequently, when you're immature and you're a young boy, you make decisions that are the easier choice, the least resistance. So I was making choices that were getting me in trouble and stuff. But I learned to take advantage of that. When I was a kid, my uncle and other members of my family dubbed me Sneaky Pete. Because I was a sneaky kid. Because I didn't have that parental guidance. So I was left to my own devices a lot. And when you leave someone who's immature to their own devices, what do you get? You get immature decisions. So I'm sneaking around trying to avoid responsibility and accountability, and I can get that, but I can not do that if I do this. And I'm looking for those ways. And now fast forward many, many years later, and I created a show called Sneaky Pete that's doing well on Amazon. But that was basically that character was basically where I was headed. If I didn't turn around and find something that I really felt passionate about, that would have been me.
It's interesting about artists.